Alright guys, welcome to this week's Patreon video. We're going to go ahead and get warmed up. We're going to start with some high knees. Try and warm up our hip flexors, our core, get our blood moving. Now what we're trying to do is we're trying to get our hips up past parallel. We're going to switch that up into some high kicks. Now if you can, we're going to add a twist to it. Remember to keep that core tight. All right, switch it up, some butt kicks. If you can, try and get your heel to actually make contact with your butt. It's kind of hard, and I don't get it every time, but that's the goal. All right, we'll go ahead and jog in place. Warm up our feet and our ankles. And we're going to do just a couple little hops. A little spin. Remember to land softly on the balls of your feet. Go ahead and do some shoulder circles. And if you can, try and get your hands behind your shoulders. Get an extra stretch in your chest. And go ahead and make your circles bigger. In reverse directions. And make your circle smaller again. In reverse directions. We're going to spread our arms nice and wide. Fingertips are pointed backwards. We're going to give ourselves a big hug. Inhale, open up wide. Exhale, big hug. And remember to switch which arm goes over top. And each time you hug, you start to get stretched out. You should be able to get your elbows just a little bit closer together. All right. We're going to go ahead and do some wrist rolls. Warm up our wrist. In reverse directions. Switch hands. Switch directions. All right, now I want you to go ahead and make some forearm circles. In reverse directions. Bring your arms up together over top. Feet are together. Glute Glutes are squeezed and core is tight. We're gonna reach for the sky, deep breath, and when we exhale, our rib cage will pull our shoulders back down. Inhale, reach tall, hold it. Exhale, bring your shoulder blades down. One more time. Inhale, reach tall. Exhale, hinge over to the side. Back to center. Exhale to the other side. We're keeping our glutes squeezed. We'll do one more to each side. Back to center, reach tall. Let those arms just float on down by your sides, nice and slow. Hands are by your sides. Do some shoulder rolls. And reverse directions. All right, go ahead. Grip your hands behind your back. Chin to the sky. Chin to chest. Keeping our glutes squeezed and our core tight. Remember to breathe. We'll do one more. Now go ahead and let your arms shake them out. Take a second if you need to. We're going to go ahead and grip them behind our back again. Standing nice and tall. Glutes are squeezed, core is tight. We're going to look over our shoulder as far as we can. Back to center. Look over the other shoulder. Keeping a nice tall spine. And remembering to breathe. One more to each side. And we're going to do some neck circles. In reverse directions. Go ahead and shake it out. So we're going to go ahead and take a nice wide stance. And we're going to do some hip circles. So just make some small circles with your pelvis. Trying to pinpoint any angles that it might feel tight in. It's like you're slow motion hula hooping. In reverse directions. Now, we're gonna do something similar, except for we're gonna do trunk circles. So we're gonna drop, we're keeping a arch in our lower back and having our pelvis tilt backward. And go ahead and make some nice wide trunk circles. Try and maintain that arch in our lower back. And reverse directions. All right, back to center. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take a stance with our legs about shoulder width apart. We're going to hinge at our waist, and we're going to spread our knees nice and wide. And we're sitting back like we're sitting in a chair. Core is tight. And when we come up, we're going to squeeze our glutes to bring our hips forward. Use your arms for balance if you need to. When you come to the top, if you want to add a little calf raise in there, feel free. We'll go ahead and do 2 more. And on the last one, we're going to hold the deep squat. Now ideally, our heels of our feet are flat on the floor, but if you don't have that range in your ankle, you can always place a book or a weight or something underneath your heel to make it a little more comfortable. All right, now with your arms, go ahead and spread your hips nice and wide. Remember to breathe. All right, go ahead and come out, squeeze your glutes, take a break. Now you can either use this break to catch your breath, or you can do some high knees or butt kicks or something to keep your heart rate up. All right, whenever you're ready, we'll do another set. Legs about shoulder width apart. Hinge at the hips. Make sure your knees get spread wide. We don't want our knees in. We want them at least over our ankles. Go ahead and do 2 more. And on the last one, we're going to go ahead and hold that deep squat. Readjust your feet position if you need to. And if you care to, spread your hips wide. Remember to keep a nice tall spine. And that arch in your lower back. All right, go ahead, come on out, take a break. Get a drink of water if you need to. All right, whenever you're ready, we'll do our last set of squats. So we'll change it up a little bit this time. If you care to make it a little bit more challenging, you can go ahead and add a little weight to it. So if you don't have a kettlebell or a dumbbell at home, you really anything, jug of milk will work just fine. So anyways, you want to keep that weight, whatever it is, close to your chest. All right, so legs about shoulder width apart, hinge at the hips. Make sure the knees are spread nice and wide and you got the arch in your lower back. And keep that weight close to you. Try and get down just below parallel if you can. Come up, squeeze your glutes, bring your hips forward. So we're inhaling on the way down. Exhaling on the way up. Last one. We'll go ahead and hold that deep squat and set your weight down. Give them hips a spread. And go ahead and come on up. All right, get a little breather. All right, guys, so for our next exercise, it's going to be a Todd favorite. We're going to do some crawls. So we're going to go ahead and get down on our hands and knees. Hands are underneath your shoulders, and we're in a quadruped position. So what we're going to do is strong in this position, nice strong foundation in our hands. We're going to go ahead and squeeze our core and bring our knees up off the ground. Now we're going to walk, keeping our core tight. With opposite arm, opposite leg. And we just do some little baby steps. Now we don't want our hips coming way up in the air if we can help it. Trying to keep a tight core and a flat back. And go in reverse. Nice and slow. Opposite arm, opposite leg. And go ahead and come out of it. Take a break. So that was, I guess you would call it a dog crawl. The next crawl we got is going to be a bear crawl. So in the bear crawl, we start in a kind of down dog position. So in order to get there, we're going to bring our feet together. We're going to hinge at our hips and get that arch in our lower back. Lower ourselves to the ground and get into a pike position. So we're going to press the ground away from us with our hands and try and press our chest towards our legs. Now we're going to walk with opposite arm, opposite leg. And we should be looking back in between our legs. We don't want to be doing this. Make sure you know where you're going, but you want to keep a neutral spine. Now the easier to make it, widen your angle. To make it harder, increase the angle. But don't sacrifice your form. And don't forget to go backwards. This is a great exercise. Get them hamstrings loose. And go ahead and come up. Slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae. And take a break. Good job. That was a bear crawl. All right, so the next exercise is going to be another crawl. It's going to be a crab walk. And so this one is might be tough for some people, depending on how your shoulders and your hips are. But so basically what you do is you sit up straight, plant your hands down by your sides, and squeeze your glutes to bring your hips up. Now, if this is challenging enough, and you just want to stay in this position, feel free. You can also go in and out of it. And this is kind of a good routine to get yourself used to getting in the crab position. So you just want to keep a neutral spine, a tight core, squeeze your glutes to bring them up, and lower back down. All right, so that's just getting in the crab. Once we feel comfortable in the crab position, then we can start to walk. So opposite arm, opposite leg. And if you're just starting, then you're probably going to be in a position like this, and that's fine. But as you get stronger, you can start trying to keep more of a flat torso. Keep them glutes squeezed and that core tight. And with all these crawls, You can get good going forward, backward, in circles, side to side. I actually encourage it. All right, once you've had enough, go ahead and come out, take a break. All right, so for our next exercise, you're going to want something soft to lay on. If you got a yoga mat, that's great. Carpet, grass, whatever you're comfortable with. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay on our backs with our legs together. Hands are either by your sides or under your lower back if that's more comfortable. What we're going to do is we're going to bring our shoulders and our head up off the mat or ground. We're going to bring our legs up as tall as we can, squeezing your core. Lower them back down slow. Just bear, don't let them touch if you can. And come back up. Remember to breathe and move slow and controlled. This is a great core exercise. It's good for your hip flexors. And it also helps with spinal compression. So after you have your set, if you want a little extra burn, bring your knees in and out. If you want, put a little roll into it too. All right, take a break. We're going to bring those knees up, hug them into our chest. Nice little stretch in your hips. Spread them nice and wide. Now if you can, grab outside the balls of your feet. This is happy baby pose. I wonder why. And if you have the flexibility in your hamstrings, go ahead and extend them. Feel that stretch in your hamstrings, in your glutes, in your calves. All right, now relax. So we're going to go ahead and bring our knees up over our chest. We're going to press the backs of our hands into the floor and squeeze our shoulder blades together. Now we're going to let our knees fall over to one side and our head to the other. It's a really great twist. Good for your thoracic mobility. And if you want to make it a little bit hard, the hand you're not looking at, turn down. But keep those shoulder blades squeezed together. Remember to breathe. Inhale to center. Exhale over the side. And if you want to make it a little bit harder, try extending your legs. Just be warned, this is tough. Exhale down the side. Inhale back to center. I'll do one more on each side. All right, hug your knees in. Get a little roll, a little massage in your lower back. All right, we're going to go ahead and let our feet come to the mat. We're going to try and get the heels of our feet as close to our butt as we can. And we're going to squeeze our glutes, press our hips up. Keeping your core tight. You should feel a stretch in your hip flexors and a contraction in your butt cheeks. We're going to lower back down. Bring our knees into our chest. Return to the floor. Press up strong through those glutes. Back down. Alright, so on the last one, we're going to go ahead and keep our glutes squeezed. And we're going to do some single leg marches. Moving our hips nice and slow. Keeping those glutes squeezed and that core tight. If you want, you can bring your leg up and extend it. Do one more on each leg. Lower back down. Hug those knees in nice and tight. Go ahead and revisit that happy baby. If you can, extend those legs. Now, if you want to try something new today, we're going to try and do a roll and bring our feet behind our head. Now, there's different levels to this, and so you just got to figure out where you're at. So we're going to start by just bringing our legs up, and we can use our hands for assistance and try and get our legs over our head. If you can, get them to touch the floor. You can extend them up. But if you don't have that strength yet, this is just a good position to hang out in and get that range. And slowly come out of it. We're return your legs to the floor. And we're going to slowly roll over to our side. We're going to come to our butts on the mat. We're going to put our hands behind us. Our knees are bent. We're going to pick one leg and just start turning that knee in and out. If you don't get all the way to the floor, that's fine. Just explore your range. And then we're going to switch to the other leg. Nice and slow and controlled, remembering to breathe. Now take a second, get readjusted. We're going to try and incorporate both legs. And so you want to have 90-degree angles or close to it. You can either have your hands behind you for support, or once you start getting a little more confident, you can remove your hands from the equation. And if you want to make this a little bit more difficult, try picking your foot up off the floor. Right. Go ahead and come back to your butt. We're going to bring our feet together and try and pull them in tight. Now we want to have a nice tall spine and try and get that arch in our lower back if we can. And we want to drive our knees towards the ground. We want to hold that. Take a breath. Go ahead and squeeze your knees together. Keeping your feet together and then push them down. Get that spine nice and tall. Bring them back together. And press them down. And do one more. Remember to breathe. All right, go ahead and release. And come up to our feet. We're going to stand with our feet together. We're going to give ourselves a nice proud chest and arch our lower back. Now we're going to try and maintain that arch in our lower back as long as we can to open up our hamstrings. Slowly lower down. Once you get to your stopping point where your back wants to round, just kind of stay in that range and let them loosen up. Remember to breathe. Each time you exhale, your muscles should relax You should be able to move a little bit deeper in. Go ahead and come up. Roll your shoulders up and back. Reverse directions. Hands back to hips. Proud chest. Arching your lower back. And lower towards the floor. Oh, we're falling. And then, after a minute or so, go ahead and let your back round. Go ahead and just hang. Now, if you can, walk your hands out into a downward dog. So we're in kind of like a pike position. And I'm going to press the earth away and my chest towards my knees. Remember to breathe. Now if you can, go ahead and do some calf raises. Nice and slow. One more. Really press into that downward dog. Go ahead and walk back in. Slide your hands up your legs. Come up vertebrae by vertebrae. Go ahead and do another shoulder roll. In reverse directions. Now, go ahead and find something like a string or a broomstick, or we're going to do something to stretch our chest out. Now, pay attention to how your shoulders are feeling, and you know, be real about the range you got. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to grab that string or resistance band or broomstick as wide as we can. Give ourselves a nice proud chest, squeeze our glutes, core tight. And we're just going to try to just move them, stretch that chest out. Let them shoulders explore the range. If you can't come all the way back yet, that's fine. Go a little wider if you need to. But we're just going to try and stretch that chest out. Now, if you have the range, make sure you go nice and slow, but you can let the broom come all the way behind you. And as you get better, you can start adjusting your grip on it, be a little more narrow. string or whatever you're using. All right, we're gonna go ahead and bring our arms up over top. Reach one arm in between our shoulder blades. Other hand comes to elbow and slightly, gently pulls it in. Nice tall spine. Core tight, glutes squeezed. Remember to breathe. Release. Switch arms. One more time, switch arms. Switch arms. And release. All right, guys, that's all I got for you today. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you again next week.